Hello, friends. Before the guns of the First World War ever fired, Europe was already roaring, not with armies, but with machines. Across the continent, something powerful was unfolding. Cities were growing faster than anyone had imagined. Fields turned into factories. Quiet towns transformed into crowded industrial centers almost overnight. And with this change came a new kind of sound, the constant rhythm of industry. Steel clanging, engines turning, smoke rising. This was industrial Europe. In places like London and Berlin, the population surged. People left villages behind, drawn by the promise of work, wages, and a better life. Trains carried them into cities that seemed full of opportunity. But opportunity came with a cost. Factories demanded long hours, 12, sometimes 14 hours a day. The work was repetitive, exhausting, and often dangerous. Accidents were common. Safety was rare. The air was thick with smoke, and the streets were crowded with people chasing survival. Yet for many, this was still better than the uncertainty of rural life. A new class was rising, the working class. These were not peasants tied to land. These were laborers tied to machines. They lived close together, worked together, and slowly they began to think together. And when people think together, they begin to ask questions. Why are wages so low? Why are conditions so harsh? Why do a few live in luxury while so many struggle? These questions did not stay quiet for long. Workers began to organize. Trade unions formed. Strikes erupted. Protests filled streets. What started as individual frustration turned into collective action. For the first time, ordinary people began to feel their strength, not as individuals, but as a group. And that made the old elites uncomfortable. For centuries, power in Europe had rested with kings, aristocrats, and wealthy landowners. Their authority felt natural, almost unquestioned. But now, something was shifting. Power was being challenged. Industrialists, owners of factories and businesses, rose alongside traditional elites. Wealth was no longer just inherited, it could be built. This created tension even within the upper classes. Old aristocrats looked at these new industrial magnates with suspicion. Workers looked at both with resentment. Society was no longer stable, it was layered with pressure. Governments began to feel it. Some tried reforms, better working conditions, limited rights, small concessions meant to calm unrest. Others responded with force, breaking strikes, controlling protests, and keeping order through authority. But the pressure did not disappear. It grew. At the same time, ideas spread across Europe, powerful, dangerous, transformative ideas. Socialism, workers' rights, equality. These ideas questioned the very structure of society. To some, they offered hope. To others, they felt like a threat, because if workers gained too much power, what would happen to the old order? And so fear entered the picture. Not fear of foreign enemies, but fear within. Leaders began to worry not just about other nations, but about their own people. Stability became fragile. Control became more important. Unity became something to be protected, sometimes at any cost. And here something important happened. Industrial strength did not just change economies, it changed how nations saw themselves. Factories produced not just goods, but weapons. Railways moved not just people, but armies. The same systems that powered growth could also power war. Nations began to realize this. Industry meant strength. Strength meant security. And security in a tense Europe felt essential. So progress continued. Cities grew larger, factories grew louder, workers grew more aware, elites grew more cautious. On the surface, Europe looked modern, advanced, unstoppable. But underneath, it was restless, because progress does not always bring peace. Sometimes it brings pressure. Pressure between classes, pressure between ideas, pressure between what exists and what people believe should exist. And in Europe, before the First World War, that pressure was building, not in one place, not in one nation, but everywhere. Waiting.